In 2014, he became a venture partner with Wave Third Partners, based in California. Please help me welcome Mr. Micheal Redd.
Well, thank you for that introduction. I'm humbled and honored to be here. Milwaukee's a second home to me. And when I was flying in yesterday, I was saying, wow, I miss this place. So every time I come back, it's like home. My formative years were here, from age 20 to 31, 32. So developed a lot of relationships here and just love always coming back to the city.
Awesome.
So it's good to be here today. It's good to see you guys really passionate about being progressive and jumping into entrepreneurship, getting creative and networking, which is awesome. So I've discovered in the last couple of years that there are a lot of things applicable from athletics to the business world. And for me, I don't pretend to be a guru on entrepreneurship or business just yet. I'm still a novice in many ways, but learned from a lot of great people along the way over the last couple of years, transitioned from basketball. People ask me all the time, does it feel like to be retired? And I was like, you never retire. I stepped away from the game at age 32, so for me it was more of a transition, more so than retiring. I couldn't play golf but so much. That first year, I was like, good. So I had somewhat of a plan before I left the game, but I had a lot of options, a lot of choices to jump into, and at the end of the day, kind of relied on my core value of, at the end of the day, helping people and empowering people and bringing value to people, whatever platform that may be used through. So at the core of whatever I did, my passion was to help people. And one of our main goals for me and my wife and our city is to reform our city holistically. Faith, finances, wellness, access, exposure to those who wouldn't have otherwise. So it's a real passion of ours to pass the baton to the next generation and let them know that there's no limits and they can accomplish whatever they want to accomplish. Sometimes people just need encouragement to know that they can do that. So it's been a wonderful journey, and looking forward to the next, hopefully 40 more years left on this earth to do some major impact.
All right. You guys can clap. It's okay. Why are you hesitant? Well, thank you for that. Just to give you guys an overview, we have a few questions we have already written out that I will ask Mr. Micheal Redd, and then after we're done, if you guys have any questions, we will open it up to the audience. Deal?
Okay.
All right, so our first question today is, what would make you invest in a company today?
What would make me invest into a company today? More so than anything, I think investing into people is the thing for me and our team out west. We want to see drive and passion and hunger to make an impact on society, more so than an individual who's driven by making money. So, for example, when I played, I never played for a contract. I played because I loved the game, and passion drove me. As a secondary consequence, you will be successful if you're passionate about something. Bill Gates makes a great quote. He says, if you want to help people, or if you want to become wealthy, help people. And that's been the motto of my life. So I was in the gym practicing for hours, not for a new contract, but because I love the game. As a byproduct of that, success came. So more than anything, investing into a person more so than a product, beyond communicating with someone, connecting with someone, and figuring out what wakes them up every day to do what they do. So passion has to be a major part. The ability to have awareness is critical, because we all, and I said this yesterday to another group, that we all think that we can be self-aware, and we can't. We've all heard that experience is the greatest teacher. Wonderful statement. It would be more wonderful if it was true. Experience is not the greatest teacher. There's a lot of people who have a lot of experience who've gotten worse. Can we testify to that? All right. So I think stepping back and evaluating the experience more so than anything can teach you a lot. I use this with my kids. Whenever they experience something, whether it be positive or negative, I always ask them, what did you learn from this situation? What did you love about the situation? So experience alone is not the greatest teacher, but I think stepping away and evaluating a situation is more important. So I hope I answered that question.
You guys, was that good enough for you guys? I didn't see a lot of, yes? Okay. Just before we move on, just want to make sure your the questions are answered. So remember, passion is everything, and passion can be felt, right? Would you agree?
Absolutely. Passion is critical. I mean, if you look at a tree, for instance, the passion is the roots to a tree. What you want to be known by is the stump and the product and the opportunities on the leaves on the tree. But at the core, at the root, has to be passion. If you don't have passion, you become an opportunist. And you gotta stay in your lane. You gotta stay in your lane. You gotta figure out what you love to do. I've never worked a day in my life. And I don't say that arrogantly, I say that with great pride and humble. I'm humble to say that, but whatever I did, I love doing. Even now, what I'm doing now. Spend time with CEOs, going out west, and adding my influence to these companies to help mitigate the risk for these companies is fun. And I love to see people's dreams come true. So, but you gotta be passionate about what you're doing. It becomes rigorous and it becomes laborious to do something just because for the sake of doing it.
Absolutely. So without passion, become an opportunist. That might be Facebook deep. All right. Next question. Is real estate too risky to invest in right now?
It depends. Depends on the land, the property. I'm not an expert at real estate, although I've invested in a couple properties in Columbus. It can be. It depends on where. I don't know what the market is in Milwaukee right now is doing. I think there's a lot of condos and a lot of real estate development happening, especially around where the Bucks are doing their development, the arena and whatnot. So there's a lot of buzz in the city around development from what I'm hearing. But it can be. You can never go wrong with land though. And so I encourage people to look into it, and if they want to get into it, do it.
Okay. You said you invested in a few properties back in Ohio. What made you invest in those properties?
Again, to help people. My goal is to put people in position of management, to empower people with employment, and that was the main reason. And also to reform our city in Columbus. Me and my wife have a heart, and partners have a heart to reform distressed areas in Columbus. For example, putting a Whole Foods in an area where people don't have access to eating healthy for half the cost.
Extremely important.
So that's our heart, to give people access to wellness, to help people. So, you know, that's our heart. We're doing it. I'm more of an actionist more than saying what I'm doing. A lot of people just talk in theory, but never actually go out and actually do something. That's another lesson that can be learned. It's important to learn how to fail along the way. There's something called the 70% solution. Has anybody ever heard of the 70% solution at all? 70% solution says that I need to do something with all my heart, with all my guts, with 100% of my effort, and then step away from it and look at it and allow myself to only like it 70%. Then move on and pivot to do something else. A lot of times we start things and we never finish it. Just start something and finish it, and allow yourself to look at it and evaluate it and say, you know what, I only like it 70%, 50%, 60%, and then you allow yourself to pivot. So I know I kind of went off on a different route, but
I think that was good.
yeah, you know,
70%.
jump in the river, man, and just do something. A lot of people do a lot of talking, but at the end of the day, just do it like Nike.
Great. Thank you.
So for me, transitioning out of basketball, it's all I've known my whole life. So you got to take risk.
Got a question too.
Yes, sir.
I know you mentioned that with you playing basketball so long, that kind of being a big part of your life. When you were looking at invested in something else, I mean, naturally you would think maybe basketball or something, something basketball, whether it be workouts or in a team or whatever the case may be, how did you decide on what you ultimately decided on, especially since basketball was so much a part of it?
Most guys go right into coaching, scouting,
Yeah.
upper management, because it's what we know.
Right.
And that was presented to me, the ability to do something in coaching, management. I didn't really have a passion to do it. And at the end of the day, although I did basketball and I played basketball, it was never my identity. And a lot of guys, it becomes their identity, and they limit themselves. And for me, I think really, really, really big. You got to think big. You got to be a dreamer. What I wanted to do was irrational, unreasonable, illogical, and that was to get into high structure finance. I didn't graduate with that degree at all, but I wanted to infiltrate, especially as a minority, to get in those doors and trailblaze, because I found and discovered that a lot of people on Wall Street don't care about people. They don't. They love their cigars and their yachts and their travels, and there's nothing wrong with enjoying life. But at the end of the day, are you paying it forward and helping people to have a better life? Right. And I had the opportunity to speak at the New York Stock Exchange a couple of years ago. And don't ask me how, I just kind of opened the door open, and it was incredible. And we spoke at Google a couple of years back as well, and I said some things at the stock exchange, and the CEO of the New York Stock Exchange was intrigued by what I said and said, "Man, we got to connect." And we did. He's been kind of like a mentor to me. He's retired now. Duncan Nuderer. I was the CEO of the New York Stock Exchange, and I've been on Wall Street and discovered that people don't care. So what I want to do is kind of infiltrate that world, get access to monies, wealth, to distribute to communities that need help and to people that need help. So we need finances, we need capital to get things done. That's just reality.